Let's make homemade pizza with a no-knead crust. I have a bread whisk today, but you can use a rubber scraper to mix the entire dough up. To my flour, I'm going to add some sugar and salt and some instant yeast. Give that a mix so it's nicely incorporated. Then add your water. Mix that up. It's going to look like a really messy, shaggy dough, but we're going to mix this several times and let it rest, and eventually it'll be nice and smooth and stretchy. Let it rest for 5 minutes and give it a mix. Every time you mix the dough, you're developing the gluten and you're making the dough soft and smooth. This is going to make our dough nice and chewy. We're going to complete this mixing process about 5 times. So you'll mix it and let it rest for 5 minutes. It's fun to see the dough transform every time you mix it. I'm gonna let this dough rest in the refrigerator overnight, so I need to get my pan ready. First, I spray it with some nonstick spray. Then I'm gonna dip all my dough in some flour. This is about a quarter cup of flour total. Now you're gonna divide your dough into pieces. You could do one large pizza, a couple smaller ones. In this case, I'm gonna be doing 5 mini pizzas. Make them as equal as you can. Take each portion of dough and dip it in additional flour, and then tuck it underneath so it's a little bit nice and neat on top. We're gonna do that with all of our dough and then cover it and let it rest in the refrigerator overnight. It's gonna double in size overnight in the fridge, just like this. Carefully take the plastic wrap or the lid off. Sprinkle each portion of dough with some additional flour. You're gonna wanna dip your hands in flour too and press them out. These are about a 1/4 inch thick. Notice we have some nice air pockets, so be really gentle when you press out your dough. Now we're gonna broil this for 2 minutes on the top rack to give our dough a nice spring. It's gonna make the air pockets expand and give us a nice fluffy dough. Then you're gonna bake it on the bottom rack at 450 for about 8 minutes. The dough will look like this, pale on top but golden on the bottom. You can use it right away, or you can leave this on the counter for a day before you need to use it. When you're ready to assemble your pizza, add your sauce and top it with some shredded cheese. Remember, when we use the cheese graters, we turn the grater sideways so that way we avoid cutting our fingers. You might want to use some mozzarella and a little bit of Parmesan, and if you like pepperoni, you can add that as well. Bake this on the bottom rack for about 8 minutes until the cheese is melted and the crust is golden. This is a basic garlic butter I mixed up with some butter and some dried herbs. Brush that on the edges before you serve your pizza. Transfer your pizzas to a cutting board, cut them with a pizza cutter. Now you have homemade pizza that was super easy to make.